Feminism, a single word that sparks arguments, headlines, hashtags, and a lot of misunderstandings. Some hear it and think strength, justice, and equality. Others hear conflict, anger, and division. But here's the truth: feminism is not about hating men. It's not about flipping the power balance. And it's definitely not just about women. This video is not about pushing an agenda. It's about uncovering what feminism really means, where it came from, why it exists, and why it still matters in today's world. If you have ever been confused, curious, or just want to understand feminism without the drama, stay with me till the end of this video. Let's have the conversation that it rarely makes space for. So what is feminism? Feminism at its core is simple. It's the belief in the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes. Not superiority, not revenge, just equality, plain and powerful. Feminism challenges the systems and norms that says women should earn less, do more unpaid labor, or be less represented in leadership. It also questions the rigid roles that say men shouldn't cry, shouldn't stay home with children, or always need to be the provider. Feminism is not about women winning and men losing. It's about creating a world where everyone has the freedom to live without being boxed in by outdated expectations. To really understand feminism, we need to understand its history. Feminism has evolved over time through what scholars called waves. The first wave was about basic rights. In much of the world, women couldn't vote, own property, or attend universities. Feminists in this era, like Susan B. Anthony and Emmeline Pankhurst, fought for women's suffrage. It wasn't about social media or a gender theory. It was about being treated as a legal citizens. Then comes the second wave. This wave looked deeper into the structure of inequality. Women asked, why are we paid less? Why are we expected to do all the housework? Why can't we make decisions about our own bodies? Feminists like Gloria Steinem and Betty Friedan pushed for workplace rights, reproductive freedom, and legal reforms. The second wave was bold, sometimes controversial, but undeniably transformative. Then the third wave, a wave of diversity and self-expression. It recognized that not all women experience sexism the same way. A black woman might face racism and sexism. A gay woman might face discrimination and a straight woman doesn't. This wave brought in intersectionality, a term coined by scholar Kimberly Crenshaw to explain how gender, race, class, and identity all intersect. The fourth wave was digital. Me Too, body positivity, anti-harassment movements, social media activism. It's loud, viral, and global. It's where feminism meets TikTok, Twitter, and global campaigns. But it's also messy. More visibility brings more backlash and more confusion about what feminism actually is. And that's exactly why this conversation matters more than ever. Some people say feminism had its time. Women can vote, they can work. What else do they want? Here is what the data says. Women still earn less than men for the same work. They still do the majority of unpaid domestic labor. In many countries, they still lack reproductive rights or protection from domestic violence. Only a fraction of CEOs, political leaders, and filmmakers are women. In parts of the world, girls are still denied education, married off young, or punished for simply speaking out. So no, feminism isn't outdated, it's unfinished. The goal is not to give women special treatment. It's to create a world where gender doesn't limit anyone's right, roles, or opportunities. Let's address some of the biggest myths about feminism. The first myth is feminists hate men. That's a false, understanding of the society. Feminism is not an anti-man. It's anti-sexism. Most feminists want men to succeed, just not at the expense of others. Second myth, feminism wants women to be superior. Feminism isn't about flipping power. It's about sharing it. It's not about women being better. it's about being equal. Third myth is that feminism isn't needed anymore. Right on paper don't always means right in practice. Progress is fragile and can be rolled back. Feminism works to protect the rights we have gained and extend them to those still left out. Fourth myth is feminism is just a Western concept. Absolutely not. Feminism exists in every culture. It looks different, sounds different, but the core desire for dignity and equality is universal. Here is what often gets left out. Feminism helps men too. It challenges the idea that men must always be strong, silent, dominant, or emotionless. Feminism says you can cry, you can be a nurturing dad, you don't have to be the only provider. You are more than a stereotype. Studies shows that in more gender equal societies, men are happier, healthier, and live longer. Why? Because they are not trapped by outdated role either. Gender equality isn't a women's issue, it's a human issue. Feminism doesn't look the same everywhere. A woman in Sweden might be fighting for boardroom equality. A woman in Afghanistan might be fighting just to go to school. A trans woman in Brazil might be fighting to stay alive. That's where intersectionality comes in. True feminism isn't about one kind of women. It's about listening to and lifting up all voices. Women of color, LGBTQ plus people, people with disabilities, indigenous women, poor women, refugees. It's about acknowledging different struggles and working together. So how can you support feminism in a real, respectful way? Listen more, not to argue, but understand. Challenge harmful norms, call out sexist jokes, speak up when someone's being excluded. Educate yourself, read feminist writers, watch films by women, support women-led business. Use your voice, online and offline, share, support and speak out. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to care. Feminism is not a threat, it's not a battle, it's a belief in basic fairness, in shared humanity, in equal dignity for all. It's not always easy, it's not always neat, but it's necessary. The more we understand it, beyond the hashtags, beyond the headlines, the better conversations we can have and the fairer world we can create. If this video gave you a new perspective, consider liking, sharing, subscribing. Let's move past the noise and towards a real understanding. Thank you for watching.